part 2. I got my picture done. As you guys seen that I kept on doing from now on. I might do the first episode without it, but this is what if Deku had the jougan. I kind of just went over the basics. And I just gave him the karma seal to just go with the jougan. Because it kind of just goes with it, I guess. It was like a good matchup. I don't know why. I just like it. I tried to look with what if Naruto had one, because I know a lot of people don't like Naruto. Personally, I think this was like a last hope, but it turns out people like it. I think their biggest flaw was not making Naruto a brat, but I get why they did that. And given Naruto such low chakra levels, because you know the Hyugas have such strong chakra control automatically, but I don't get how these guys can spam like chakra rotating around them, pure chakra. It's pretty much like a Rasengan and the Chidori, and the only reason why Sasuke couldn't like spam the Chidori, he couldn't even spam the Rasengan either because his low chakra levels. And Naruto should have had at least equal amount to Naruto at the beginning. They should have just did that. But I get they didn't want to make him like a complete ripoff of Naruto and stuff like that. But they also should have focused it towards Minato also. Like giving the flies and Raijin. Which I get Naruto does have it, but he never mastered it. And they should have made Naruto like not a complete prodigy, but like faster and all that. Like made him like Minato mixed with the Sasuke, mixed with the Naruto. Well, I want him to turn out like. But I wish they made it like that at the beginning. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah. I already did my special, or the last part of my special. It did come out late, but yeah. I just wanted to make the last part good. But yeah, we're gonna start this off with. Wait, give me a second. I was just checking out my audio for my video. I've been trying to put it up, but because it's not like it's hard for me, but I usually would do it in my living room, but my family's watching videos, and I don't want to stand up all through my what ifs. Actually, I'm about to rearrange my room. Okay, guys, I didn't take me long. I just had to move like one little thing, pretty much. But yeah, we're going to start this off after he killed him. And I'm not going to give him a scar or anything, but yeah. He gets his karma skill and stuff like that, but yeah. It's pretty much the same karma skill like what Naruto has. And yeah. So it's been the 3 months where they would find Deku in this area underneath all of Tokyo with a whole bunch of trees planted, or like a whole bunch of trees grown everywhere, saying that like these are really high trees, so they're thinking we might need somebody to navigate through here and stuff. So I'm gonna say they call in rescue heroes that are good for like forest terrain. And I'm gonna say like an actual hero, like the wood. No, the wood guy would be like in school or something. I'm not sure. I don't think he was that old. But some dude. I'm gonna say that like a rescue hero that could manipulate trees around him, and he was like a forest rescue hero and stuff like that. And they're using the trees to navigate, and Deku feels all of these trees moving and stuff because of the sensory type, or his sensory abilities let him feel the chakra in the trees, and it feels like the chakra and the trees are being manipulated to force the trees to move around by their will. And yeah, he's like a descendant of the Senju clan, so he has like brown hair and stuff like that. So yeah, he pretty much goes in, and they find Deku, which he's similar to what they saw, but there is light in the forest, if you guys are wondering. I'm just gonna say there's like plants that get off like a natural light. But the description was green eyes, green hair, and a little boy. But they find a little boy with white hair, or like the color of Osuhi hair, with white eyes, but the curly hair matches and the age matches by the looks of it. And so they ask him who he is, and he says Izuku Midoriya. And they're like, oh, we finally found you. How you've been missing for 3 months, we're about to give up on you until we found this hole, and stuff like that. And they ask, how did you survive down here for three months without anybody get your food? And he says, this forest here has a lot of fruit and stuff like that. Don't ask me how there's fruit underneath ground growing without any sun. Chakra tree. Yeah, how about that? I figured it out. Because the Hosasuki had this ability to like plant trees that like sucked up chakra, but it was like a reverse version of that, I'm gonna say, where it gave chakra to them. And they look around and they say, how could fruits be growing down here? And they see these glowing trees. Is why they're glowing is because they have chakra forced into them. And the dude's wondering why he could control the trees, like pretty much like it was second nature. Almost seeming like he didn't want to activate his core, he control it easily and stuff. And he says that's probably why my core was so affected down here, is because these trees have some kind of like, he says, has a lot of energy, and they like energy. He says that when I use my quirk, I can kind of manipulate energy inside trees, and these trees have a lot. And he says that's probably why there's plants growing. But yeah, he goes back home, and Inko welcomes him home and stuff, and he asks, why is his hair white and all that? He says, and why does he have a horn? He says, I have no clue, but after this happened, and yeah, if you're wondering, the Otsutsuki guy's body got disintegrated. I don't know, because I said so. And yeah, and this is when she noticed this mark on his hand, saying, what's that? And he says that is he says, I don't know. And he kind of like flexes his hand a little with the mark opening, making him feel a lot stronger physically, and pour more chakra into him, and like increasing his jougan's ability, I guess. I'm not sure. But yeah. They're there, and like, I'm gonna say Inkle noticed that he was fast and everything, and he took him to the quirk doctor. And I'm gonna also use this. There was a doctor named Dr. Hyuga. Yeah. It's not gonna just be just like the Ryan Junkies, or not Ryan Junkie, what? Anime Junkie. Because he gave him the Sharingan while I give him the Jougan. But yeah, and they can tell that he has chakra, and like that can be forced out. And she asked, where's the chakra being forced out? And that's where he says, all over the body. And that's where he says there's only a few cases with that, with quirks that emit outside his body. But usually those ones don't have this many cords everywhere. They call them, or links, I guess they would call them actually. And yeah, and this is when he shows off his quirk. And he goes off. His mother figures out that he has some kind of ability to use elements in his eyes, is what the doctors narrowed down his quirk, is that his eyes give him special abilities. I'm not going to go over. But yeah, now it's been 7 years, or like 6 years and some kind. I forgot I left on, but it's been 7 years, I'm pretty sure. And this is when we're, I'm gonna say he went to a different school. I'm gonna say he got like really high grades. And in primary school. And pretty much he got offered a new school that's really high standards, and it's usually a private school if you want to pay your kid to get in there. But if you get high enough grades, you get like a shot to go there and stuff. And yeah, he goes in, and I'm gonna see Ida there, because I think Ida was in like a high standard school. And whenever he gets there, he introduces himself as Izuku Midoriya. And I'm gonna say some people assumed he was blind, because if you look at the Hyuga, they kind of do look blind sometimes. Personally, whenever I saw Hinata, I thought she was some kind of like blind person and stuff like that. And I thought, how could she become a ninja? This is not no like lie, but like I totally thought that she had some ability to like see like somehow in a special way that makes her become that lets her become a like ninja. And I personally thought that they were going to like introduce her more actually throughout the story. This anime just anime's thought whenever he was watching the beginning Naruto. But yeah. And yeah, he goes in there, and some people think he's blind, and I'm gonna say people thought he was blind when he went back to a different school. And he says some people think I'm blind, but I'm not. Actually, if you compare my vision to most people, mine's superhuman. And that's whenever it says, that's whenever I get to my quirk, which gives me ability to see weak points of a human's body, which he says that people also call the points of quirk connections. He says that there's somebody else in the world with a quirk like mine, saying that, but his didn't give him ability to shut down these connections. Then he was the Dr. Hugo. But my quirk is like an advanced version of his, saying that mine gave me ability to see these points in the greater vision and also shut them down, giving me the ability to turn off people's quirks. And he says that there's 4 main connection points that can shut down somebody's quirk in a certain area. And that's actually stronger in My Hero, because people's quirks are usually only based in like one area, or like multiple areas if there's, or like a transformation quirk. I'm gonna say is focused in the chest area is where it's gonna spread from. So like, Ida quirk's based on the legs, so he has to strike for the legs, only for like 12 shots pretty much. He also says it also gives me greater reaction speed and greater speed and strength in general. And he also says that my vision is so strong that I can pinpoint insects if I want to. And he also explains that I don't just give him automatic 360 degrees completely, because his eye's stronger than the Byakugan and stuff like that. But yeah, he went to that school for a while. He already met Ida and stuff, and Ida told him that he's the son of the brother of Genium and stuff, and he says he wants to be a hero. And Deku says that he wants to become a hero too, saying that my quirk might seem basic, but I can do other stuff with it. While they're leaving school, of course. And he asks him what, and he tells him to come to my training ground, which I want to say is around all of Japan. I'm just going to say there's like all the villages are across Japan, and the samurais are like the I'm pretty sure Japan's like an island. I'm not completely sure, but like the mainland next to Japan is where all the samurais are and stuff like that. And yeah, but that's where he says come to my training ground and stuff like that. I asked training ground, and I'm gonna say he figured out where all these like hidden passages was. I'm gonna say he found like a Orochimaru's lair once, and he told his mom to come to this house because it was a good spot and stuff, and she did. So he goes by his house, and he tells his mom that I'm going training, so don't worry about me. And she says okay. He walks down, and this is whenever Ida sees a like rock and stuff. He asks him why we're here, and that's whenever Deku says we're here for this, with Ida seeing him put some hand signs up, and the rock moves out the way, and whole gate opens up. They walk down, and the whole place is brighter because Deku made more lights, and he says, here's my training ground, saying that this is so big that and I won't interrupt anybody whenever I use my quirk. And he asks Ida, or he tells Ida to show the spar a little. Ida agrees, and Ida goes for a kick, but Deku keeps on dodging. He thinks, oh yeah, right, his quirk gives him great reaction speed. So he goes like full out and stuff, and Deku, I'm gonna say, grabs one of his kicks and throws him off balance, and I'm gonna say then this is whenever an orb appears, is what Ida sees, and it turns into I'm gonna say a katana, but like a Kindersuit katana, and he wins, and he says, there, I win. And he was like, that's one of your abilities of the quirk. He says, yeah. But he also says one of my dangerous abilities too. And he asked why, and he says that this ability, if I put, like, he says put any energy, like quirk energy, but he says that the proper term for it, he says, after doing some research, he calls chakra and stuff, and he gives him a weird acronym, I guess, saying why it's chakra and stuff like that, and he explains that if I put chakra in it, I can Anybody without some ability to put chakra around them will be instantly disintegrated. And Ida says that's dangerous and powerful. And he says that but its weakness is that anybody with transformation quirks will not be affected, but their quirks will shut off. And Ida says that's good for taking down transformation. And he shows him all of his ability. And he tells Ida that he should train using his fist. And that's when they train, and they're gonna go to UA.